Why, hello there.
Hi.
Julie Slater, 88.5 The SoCal Sound, here with Marcus Mumford. What's up, man?
Hi, Julie.
I feel so cozy on this couch with you, although you sat very far away from me.
It's quite bougie, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice.
It's a bit a bit creepy, actually.
Can you imagine? Yeah, can you imagine what's been on here?
I dropped my muffin underneath the sofa, and you said 3-second rule.
And you picked it back up.
And I started eating. I think it's now laced with cocaine. Well, I'm coming
Probably. Yeah. I mean, you were on a plane for a long time, so it might help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so
can you still buy those magic eye drops in America that are like cocaine for your eyes, but they're legal?
I've never had them.
My friend gave me them once, and I'm not a drug guy.
Yeah.
But I think I could get quite deep into eye drops.
That's hilarious. What does it have in it?
I don't know. He said it's almost FDA approved. I was like, that sounds wicked. And I did it like 2 drops. We were actually on a train. We were drinking wine from the bottle. And it had been we'd had a very, what we call an LLBL, a long, leisurely, boozy lunch. This is a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then we continued on the train, drinking very, very expensive wine from the bottle.
Yes, as you should.
And then we were going back to my place in the countryside to have dinner with my parents. And I was like, I'm in too much of a state to sit at a dinner table with my parents right now. And he went, have these eye drops. They were like magic. By the time we got there, I was like, hi.
Anyway,
You've never had them since?
I've never had them since.
And I've never heard of them. Interesting. That was in the US.
No, well, he brought them from the US. But it was in England, yeah. Anyway, I'm sure that's how you wanted to start this interview.
Yeah.
Julie, let's continue.
Okay, so you're in this other band, Mumford Sons.
Yes, ma'am.
Which is cool. But really, now you're a solo artist. And I wonder, how does this new chapter feel for you? I mean, you're still in the Mumford Sons, still around.
Yep.
But now, this week, actually, the week that we're recording this, I have a feature called our 88.5 Album Dive. We're digging deep into your album, and each day I'm playing a different track.
Cool.
Which has been really fun. But how does it feel? It's very different to be in a band, and now it's all on you. I mean,
it is different.
Do you feel, is there more pressure? I'm curious of the perfectionism of being an artist. Is there more worry for that as a solo artist or in a band?
There's lots to say on that.
It's really different. It makes me admire artists who are in bands and also have solo careers, because it's a lot to get your head around. Like, once you're in the band mentality, and this can be a good and a bad thing, you kind of like, you strap in for the ride and you just go wherever the kind of big machine that you've created takes you. Whereas I'm learning with this solo stuff, like, it all falls on you, and it's just different. So effectively, if I sort of think like the live performances, like, they're kind of good enough, then we don't work anymore on them. So I have to be the one that says, like, no, let's keep working on them, you know, let's keep getting them better. So it's just really different. And I think for the way this record was written and put together, the intention behind it made total sense for it to be a non-band project for me. But it's not like I'm thinking about the next solo record. I'm thinking the next record.
I mean, this record just came out, and I mean, it's also a very serious record. You've been very open about sexual abuse, and the first song, you're singing about it. What led you?
No better way to market an album, right?
Right. Well, I mean, it's kind of
Buy my
interesting.
album.
Well, it's interesting that you could have used like a bunch of metaphors. You could have buried the song later in the record. Like, you just came right out, going for it.
Yeah,
what
no,
I
did think about doing all those things.
It just didn't feel right. And so I just tried to follow my instinct. And then when I started wavering from that instinct, friends would call me up and say, like, well, wasn't your instinct this? And, you know, really just showing some kind of support. Like, Brandy Carlisle called me month before.
Who's on the record. Yeah.
He's on the record. Month before I was thinking of putting it out. And she said, like, I hear you're wavering on putting Cannibal first. Like, dude, be strong. Don't be afraid. It's the right place to start the record, and here's why. And we talked it through. It wasn't so much instructional, it was like supportive, which is simple, I think, sort of symbolic of the way the record was made. It was in a very like community-driven support network for me, of people in front of and behind the microphone, you know.
I mean, you had a lot of friends supporting you, but were you very nervous about just public reaction? I mean, it's
No.
like a baby. You know
No,
what I
I
mean?
wasn't actually. I let go of it on the last day of mixing.
That's great.
I didn't need the record to do anything for me, in terms of like healing and recovery and stuff like that. If I had relied on a piece of music,
Or relied on other people's
on the
reaction
release
to it.
of a
Yeah.
then that would feel fucked up.
Yeah.
So I didn't need anything from it. Then it was just like, okay, now it feels like other people's. It feels less like mine. I mean, obviously I still made it, but it feels like now we're giving it to people and they can digest it however they want to. And I wanted to put the music out before talking about it, which I was intentional about too.
Yeah. Now the reaction to me, what I've even just seen online, is it overwhelming? Like you're finding people who are really relating to what's happened to you, to what's happened to them.
Yeah, in some ways I'm not surprised because I think
Yeah.
this stuff, I mean, if you're talking specifically about sexual abuse, I think it's much more common than we talk about.
Right.
But in general, I don't think I'm enough of a masochist to go through comment sections. It's not my jam.
Yeah. I mean, I've just seen just people posting their
Right.
own story, like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
Yeah.
So I feel like there's no way for you to know how the record would have been brought to people.
No.
But it's really, I think it's kind of wild. I feel like this record's way huger than you, and I just wonder, and maybe you haven't felt all that just yet. But
No, I think a bit like when you make music, you're always a couple of years ahead of your audience, and I think it's the same. Even in the rollout of this record, like Cannibal came first, it had to. Grace came second. I'm kind of excited for people to discover the rest of it now because it's not as intense, and actually it leads to a place which is truthful for me of freedom, and actually like fun as well.
Yeah.
And so now playing the live shows, we started just playing the whole record from the top. So I come out, play a couple Mumford Sons tunes just solo, like make people feel all right and safe, and then play the whole record start to finish. And it's over too soon. I was glad I made a short record, but then when you come to translate it live, it
Yeah.
happens fast and then it's done. And then you just fuck around at the end, play covers.
how was it? I'm a huge fan of Phoebe Bridgers.
Me too.
She's on the record.
Uh-huh.
Did you? I feel like there's probably no way you guys were together to record it.
We
I don't
were,
know how it worked.
actually.
Were you?
Yeah, I was
It makes
here.
me sad to think like you guys are just sending files to
No,
each
that
other.
wouldn't have happened virtually, I don't think.
That we needed to really
Are
connect.
you guys like besties now?
No, we've been friends
I
for a
just
while.
love her so much.
I hunted her down at Newport Folk Festival. I don't know, it must have been like 5 or 6 years ago. Early doors, I guess, for her public career, and had heard her music and really liked her music, and went and saw her, stood front row in one of those little tents at Newport, and just was completely blown away by her talent, her writing. And then we were working out of the same studio, and I knew I was going to be here. I texted her and said, "Are you around?" Because we'd done a couple of things together in the past, and she said she was. So I played her a couple of songs, and then I played her the one she sang on. She was just really stoked about the fact that I got the word heinous into her song.
Oh yeah, I saw that. On
She really
Twitter.
was. She's
Yeah.
like, dude.
Yeah. She's
That's
like, I'll
funny.
sing on it, yeah. And then she sang on it, and I went away and wrote the rest of the song, sort of inspired by her performance on it, because she sings on that song differently to how I've heard her sing
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
People do that with Blake Mills, the producer. He has a way of accessing vocalists, I think, in new ways that it happened with Clairo. I don't think she sounded quite like that before. Monica Martin as well. I know his Laura Marling records, and I worked with Laura back in the day, and so hearing her produced as a vocalist by Blake, he brings something different out of people. And he certainly
That's cool.
did with Phoebe that day. It was very cool. So it inspired me to go off and finish the song because she just raised the bar.
I really want to get to. We don't have a ton of time. Ted Lasso.
Oh, do you?
How did you get involved in that? And gosh, you guys have any idea how that was gonna? I mean, it really helped so many people during the pandemic. But being a part of that,
Yeah.
how do you feel? Like,
Yeah, it was a cool thing. Yeah, it was cool.
I mean, you have the theme song, but you also score. It's like
I
the
scored
first
it,
time
yeah,
scoring.
and really, when you say theme song, it's really just dugga dugga dugga, yeah, and then skip intro, right? So really, that's all we're talking about. So a lot of people.
I always say I'm also a musician. I always think about the beginning and listening to it, and all the editing that goes into the beginning that people are skipping.
Yeah, no, that's it.
So, and people say like, how was it working on that? It took 6 months of my life. And then, so I think for a lot of people, it's like, what, to do that drum fill and the But I'd never scored anything before. So obviously the theme tune happened quite quickly. That was like a day's work. But the scoring genuinely took me 6 months because we did it. I started it in COVID in a studio in London with my engineer. And then of course COVID happened, lockdown. I'm just starting this project and I had to learn how to push all the buttons.
Oh, engineer yourself?
Which is terrifying to me, but actually really helpful, especially in advance of making my own record.
Right.
And having to work without lyric was really helpful. Just thinking about melody and rhythm was really fun, actually. So I did the first season quite slowly. I did the second season a bit quicker, and that was all in COVID, so it kept me busy. And then watching the success of the show has been great. I mean, I haven't watched it, but...
You haven't watched it?
Well, no, I spent 6 months with it, so I don't need to watch it.
Oh, you already watched it, like, as you were...
Yeah, hundreds of times.
Yeah.
So I've never watched the whole thing start to finish, you know, which I know people have enjoyed. But it's cool how surprisingly popular it's become.
So do you think you'll do more scoring in the future? Or no?
Never again.
Are you kidding?
It's a nightmare.
Really?
It's a nightmare. It's just so technical and...
I guess so.
And it's kind of anti-creative in a way because it becomes really scientific and quite technocratic. So I'm not in a rush to do it TV again, at least.
Interesting. I'm a big Radiohead fan. When you say it's really scientific, it makes sense that Johnny Greenwood and Tom York are really into scoring because they seem like crazy.
Yeah, and I do think it must be different doing a feature, right? Because you're scoring 90 minutes of music as opposed to 380 or something ridiculous, you know. TV, and especially, you know, comedy's quick cues as well. So it's like you're in, then you're out. You don't have a lot of, whereas Johnny Greenwood has these like 10-minute long pieces to write. That would be pretty fun, I think. Yeah. That's pretty cool. And then like the London Contemporary Orchestra to help him.
Are you buddies with Radiohead by any chance?
No. No, I'm not. To be honest, I'm such a fan of their music that I don't really want to be.
Oh, I hear that.
I don't have much desire to meet them.
I know,
weirdly.
sometimes it's a real downer.
Yeah, no, I don't think it would be a downer. I'm sure they're really lovely. Yeah. But like, I'm happy for them to exist in that godlike space that I put them in.
Yeah,
so,
I feel you.
Yeah.
Do you hang out with Johnny and Tom a lot?
I've met them a few times. I went to the south of France and hung out with them backstage and had champagne, and it was the biggest dream of my life.
Was that Moonshaped Pool Time? When they did those Pool Time videos?
It was like 2001.
Hail to the Thief.
I think so, yeah. Maybe, I don't know.
Hail to the Thief was 01, I think.
It was a dream come true, but I'm such a huge fan. I've got to interview a couple times, and it's all just been a dream.
Awesome.
So, but it's just great to love
I'm so happy for you, and I'm not at all envious of you.
But I have met some heroes, and it's not that they're, you know, sometimes it is best to leave them where they are because sometimes they can't live up to your dream state. I don't think that you feel that way about Radiohead. I mean, I'm not obviously an obsessive.
No, I'm not. It's not one of those meet your heroes things. I just don't need anything from them. If they could just crack on making their music, that's all I need from them.
I wanted to be Tom York's best friend.
Do you? Right.
That's the problem.
That is a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably not going to happen at this point.
Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
There's nothing personal about you. I just think he's probably got enough mates now, hasn't he?
Oh.
Kids.
You're a real dream killer, Marcus Mumford.
Dream killer.
Yeah, so you could write the next song.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
All right, you're playing the Wiltern a couple days from this recording. Who's in the band with you? Or where'd you get your players?
Couple LA cats. A guy called Mason Stoops plays the guitar. It's wild. He's from what he would like to refer to as the Dina.
Taylor
Pasadena? Do they call it the Dina?
The Dina.
I've never heard that before. That's cute.
And Taylor Mackle plays keys, and Mason introduced me to. And they're a bit younger than me, and they're just really enthusiastic and highly, highly talented musicians. So it's fun playing with them. Mike Libramento plays the bass, who I toured with when he played with His Golden Messenger. And it's one of the most respected musicians I know, because he can basically do anything. Yeah. And when he's happy, everyone's happy.
How many instruments do you play?
I play like 3 chords on loads of instruments.
Yeah.
And I play more than 3
Enough
chords
to like
on
kind of write
one instrument.
Yeah.
and that one instrument I can play about 5 chords. So it depends what you mean.
Yeah.
I grew up as a drummer, and so drumming in this live band is Ted Paul, who's from Seattle, who played actually on a song we cut for the record and didn't make it. Not because of the drumming. The drumming was the best thing about it, but we just didn't put it on the record. And he is a kind of session guy. He's just a phenomenal drummer, and I'm quite picky with drummers.
Yeah.
I can be quite difficult, I think, with drummers.
Yeah,
He's amazing.
I can sense a
I'm a
difficultness
difficult guy.
about you.
Yeah, I'm a difficult dude.
Especially when you kill Dre and just, yeah. All right, well, Mumford & Sons, just for the record, Mumford & Sons will continue.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Anything in the future happening?
Yeah, start writing some songs.
Yeah, cool.
It's I think this is right for me right now, but it has also made me really look forward to getting back in the room with the lads and being part of a band again. So it's everything's in its right place.
Oh, I like that. Little Radiohead reference, everybody. That's a very difficult. I learned a little piano. That's a very difficult song to play.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think I'm not sure Tom York has ever got his head around the time signature for that song.
It's very whack, but I think it's whack on purpose.
Yeah, it is. It's dope. Anyway,
should we talk a bit more about Radiohead another time?
I mean,
let's keep going. I'm up for it. That's my favorite subject.
I mean, I love them. Is that wrong?
No, me too.
No, they provide a lot of joy. I love that they're a band that I've loved for so long, and I still do, you know. Sometimes bands come and go, you know, or you have moments where you're not that into them and you get back into them. But it's been a joy talking to you. I believe our time is up.
Cool.
Sorry,
I haven't asked you many questions.
I know.
Next time.
Yeah, okay. We will do this next time. Self-Titled is the new solo album from Marcus Mumford. Thank you so much for popping by the SoCal Sound. Have a great, you're here at Amoeba to do a signing. Enjoy it. Have a great show at the Wiltern, and see you soon.
See you again. Thank you.